Hello everybody, welcome back to Read and Reread. I am Angelia and today I'm doing the reader profile tag. This tag was created by Hillary at Book Bustle. I was tagged by Melinda from A Web of Stories, and I will put both of their channels and their versions of the tag in the description box below. So check them out, like and subscribe, and enjoy their versions of this tag. I have been behind on tags, and so I am gradually going to work through my backlist of tags and try to do them somewhat in order from the oldest undone tag up to the more recent. And so this one is the one of the day, and it's one of those tags that is all about different kinds of books and reading preferences, and I love answering questions like this. So let's get into it. There's about 10 questions, and I'm going to try not to make this video last all day, but I already made it last all day in the planning because I overthought many of these questions, even though absolutely nothing at all is writing on my answers. So here we go. Number one, what for you makes a good book? Well, this right here could be like a 45-minute thesis. I think I'm very much a character-driven reader, and so I think for me what makes a good book is I have to be really invested in the characters. I'm okay with a wide range of pacing and structures and styles of a novel, but if I'm not into the characters, and I don't even have to necessarily like them, but I have to be intrigued by them, challenged by them, interested in them. If I don't have that, then the rest doesn't really work out. It could be long, short, fast, slow, all kinds of topics. It could be all kinds of genres, but I gotta be into the characters. Now, there are exceptions to the rule. Every now and then I just wanna read a thriller where you don't have to think it through too much, and it's just, you know, but more and more, or maybe less and less, like that's happening not as much. I still do like that kind of book now and then, but it doesn't call to me as much as it used to. Number two, what are you currently reading? I'm actually in between. Last night, I finished James, and I cannot wait to talk about it, but I'm going to save that for Friday Reads. I loved this book, and wow, I have things to say, but I can't say too much, but I gotta say something. But anyway, this is what I finished. So today, I'm actually filming this on Sunday, and it's the Trans Day of Visibility. So I'm gonna read one of the books that I selected for Trans Girl April, I'm Afraid of Men by Vivek Shraya. So it's short, I think it'll fit into today. And then I started reading Poetry Unbound, which is a series of poems selected by Padraig Otuama. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. And he's an Irish poet, and the format is he has a little intro, then there's a poem by someone, mostly contemporary, and then he has an essay of thoughts and reflections. Sometimes there's a little bit of a mini lesson, like he points out certain things about the poetry's form or features, alliteration, the structure, the syntax, but he also talks mostly about the effect of the poem, his interpretation of the poem's meaning and what it means to him, and invites you, the reader, to think about what the poem means to you. And so I've only read a few of them so far, and I'm really enjoying it. So that's what I'm currently reading. Number three, what is the last book you didn't finish and why? I don't know why I feel the need to hold all these books up, but I like visuals. So it was Bleak House. As you see, still has my notes in it, and I got stranded on page 406. It is currently living back in the bookcase, and I don't know if this is a temporary or a permanent DNF, but it just wasn't working for me. Some people suggested that I should try to read it again on its own without juggling multiple books. Some people said I should just never pick it up again. So there's a wide variety of opinions about Bleak House. So for right now, it's kind of a soft DNF. Number four, I got stuck on this. I don't think I have an answer right now. It's what obscure book do you wish other people would read? I have pointed out books, and I do point out books that I feel like I don't hear a lot of people talking about, but whenever I do that, a big wave of people come back and say they read it and they loved it. So I don't really know what constitutes an obscure book anymore. I think so many people are talking and sharing ideas on BookTube and other platforms, and I'm not sure. I couldn't come up with something that truly is obscure. And so if you know of an obscure book that you wish more people would read, please put that in the comments, because I will collect those recommendations and then we all can see them when we look at the comments. So I would appreciate that. Number 5, what is the longest book you've ever read? All right, so I looked around in the library because I thought, my first thought was it's probably David Copperfield or Middlemarch. And I did a page count check, and David Copperfield did win that battle at 850 pages. But then I remembered that I have read The Stand by Stephen King. I'm going to put a picture, but it was the original when it first came out with this cover on it. And I will have to look at that year to see how old I was when I read it. And I don't have it anymore, so I don't know if I used to have a copy or maybe it was a library book, but that's the longest book I ever read, and it's over 1,000 pages. So David Copperfield is coming in a hot second. Oh my gosh. Okay. Number 6 is the one that I got completely stalled out on, and I just spent the nerdiest time overthinking and replanning this question, which is probably why I could never do the activity in the question. If you could have a dinner party with 5 fictional characters, who would they be? Post-it notes and post-it notes and post-it notes of me trying to figure this out. Because my first inclination was to just think of 5 people that I really like. And then I thought, well, you know, not everyone goes together really well. I mean, I know this is just a fictional exercise, but I still don't want to design an imaginary dinner party with people who would not enjoy each other's company. Because if I just pulled 5 favorite people, I mean, I'm sorry, but Jane Eyre has suffered enough of annoying and disappointing men. I don't want to stick her all evening long with Holden Caulfield, even though I love Holden. Those two, that's not a good matchup. So I scratched that original idea, and instead I came up with a couple of different variations. Then I had one where it was 5 people who all love books and reading, and that would be fun. But my favorite one ended up being 5 badass women. And so my dinner party now is the following women from literature. From Moll Flanders by Daniel Defoe. Moll Flanders. She's a thief. She's a con artist. She's a survivor. She's very savvy. I find her a fascinating character. Every time I read the book, I don't exactly admire her because she does a lot of awful things, but I just really enjoy her story. We have Lauren Olamina from Parable of the Sower. She is the teenage character who leads her community and some people she collects along the way out of chaos and disorder in a future dystopia and establishes a new community. It's followed up by a sequel in which it's mostly told by her daughter, who's also an interesting person as well. But I'm inviting Lauren Olamina to the dinner party. And from Station 11, I'm inviting Kirsten Raymond, who we first meet as a young child actor in a production of King Lear on the night that a serious, well, that's an understatement. It's a pandemic that wipes out almost everyone on Earth. It begins that night, the same night as she is performing in King Lear. And okay, it's very complicated, but she's there as a kid, and then she's in 20 years in the future as an adult and a survivor in a traveling troupe of players. I need her there at the party. Lisbeth Salander from the Dragon Tattoo books. Whether if you've read the books or you've seen any of the movies, you know that she may or may not, I don't know if she'd even come to a dinner party. She might just ghost the whole thing. But if she does come, I think it'd be cool to talk to her. And then the last one is a book I had read from the library, but I'll put a picture up, and it is Marion Graves from The Great Circle, the aviator, from, oh no, I gotta think, is it World War One, World War II. It's been a while since I read the book. I'll look it up and double check. But it must be World War, well, here I am stuck again. Anyway, I loved this character, even though I can't properly explain her, and I think she would be a good one at the party as well. And I'm going to hire somebody to cater this because I'll be stressed out if I'm trying to make food and serve it at the same time. So I'm a guest at the party as well. All right, the next one is 5 books you'd want if stranded on a desert island. Why is it always a desert island? Okay, and they never say how long do I have to be there. Is it for a year? Is it for the rest of my life? I mean, this affects my planning. And I always picture that cartoon desert island that's just a circle with one coconut tree in the middle and like a guy in ragged shorts sitting under the tree. That's what I envision as the desert island. But maybe it's more like a rainforest with a beach and it's, you know, it has more to offer. I don't know. But okay. Anyway, I'm stalling. Here's the books. Here they are. I need a lot. This is the only thing that's going to sustain me on this island. All right, so first of all, most of this is comfort reads. I think there's only one thing in here that I've never read that I'm taking a chance on. I need a guaranteed good time. So of course I have to bring Catcher in the Rye. I could not leave home without it, even though it's not a good choice in terms of being kind of short and that I've read it 1,000 times, but I just need this with me. I'm also going to bring Jane Eyre, which I've also read 1,000,000 times, but at least it's big and substantial. And every time I read it, I find new things that I never thought about before. So I can calm down and pass the time with Jane on the desert island. And I'm not making Jane and Holden go to that dinner party, so I need to fit them in somewhere else in this prompt. Then I'm bringing this collected volume of Jane Austen's novels. So this might be cheating, but these are 5 books that I have, so this is coming with me. And again, massive rereading, but what else do I have to do? Here's the one that I've never read. It's The Count of Monte Cristo. I bought it like a year ago. It still has the paper on it. And everyone says it's wonderful. It's super long, but I've got time on my hands, so I'm bringing that with me. And then the last one, it might be cheating, but hear me out. It's this Harper American Literature Anthology, and it appears to be 2 books, but I put forth that it's only 1 book in 2 volumes, and I need it all. These are I have other anthologies, but these are my favorites, and I got these for classes that I took in graduate school when I was getting my master's degree in English. And it came bundled with a copy of Huckleberry Finn. And so I have used these. They don't even look like they'd be that sturdy, but I've had them for decades, and I use these all the time. There are so many short stories, poems, essays, excerpts, biographical information, and I need the whole thing. So I'm counting it as 1 book to take with me. So there I am. I'm all set. I just need that and some sunblock and I'm good. All right. Number 8, 1 book that you could not put down. Now this is recency syndrome, but I couldn't put down James. I had to discipline myself because it's not that long of a book and I'm a fast reader and I did not want to just consume it in 1 gulp. So I had to keep inventing other things that I needed to do so I could break it up and not read it all at once. But it was that good. Number 9, 5 books or authors you will never read. So I decided to limit myself to things that actually were here in this home library that I don't think I will ever read. So let me go grab those real quick. More giant books. So these books are not disqualified because of their immensity. It's other factors. The first one's not even that big. It's Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy. Now, I accept that this is one of the great American novels, and a lot of people love this book and this author. And this is Stephen, one of his favorite authors, and we have most of his books, but it's just not for me. I'm just not a fan. I've read 2 Cormac McCarthy books. I loved The Road, did not like All the Pretty Horses, and I have no plans to read the rest of the Cormac McCarthy books. They're just not right for me. They're too intense and bloody, and it's just not my thing. So, not reading that. I'm also not going to read, probably, War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. I don't even know if this is my copy or Stephen's copy. It's just always been here. It's from Half Price Books, but it's been here for decades and nobody has even attempted to read it. I will say never because this one of all these, this is the one I could imagine somehow being talked into doing some kind of group read, but I wouldn't be surprised if I never read it. And then the next ones, oh my goodness. I will never read Norman Mailer, The Naked and the Dead, or anything by Norman Mailer. I am not going to read, I mean, this is kind of a cool vintage cover, but there's just nothing about anything I've ever heard about Norman Mailer, the person, or his work. I feel like if you saw me reading one, you'd want to, you know, recommend me for some sort of evaluation because something must have slipped. Okay, another book I have no intention of reading is Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace. I don't know, it just sends out these kind of bro vibes, and I don't know, it's not calling to me. What is this? Oh, a thing fell out from a gallery in Austin. I'm sure someone's going to tell me that I'm way off base and skipping over Infinite Jest. That's okay. Tell me what you want to tell me. None of this is set in stone. Who knows? And then the last one, for no particular reason other than immense length, is On a Lamb, whatever this is, by James Dickey. I have read Deliverance, but not really interested in reading anymore, especially something that looks like this. Good grief, what is this even about? Something World War II, blah-de-blah-de-blah. No, thank you. All right, so you can fill me in if I'm profoundly ignorant about any of those books, and I probably still won't read them. Let's see, the last question is, if you were to write a book, what would it be about? Oh, I don't know, man. I don't have any inclination to write. I've got nothing. That's like a goose egg. I have nothing. If I ever get something, then I'm going to write it, and then I'll tell you about it. Since I am doing a whole flurry of tags and I'm going to completely lose track of the process of tagging, I don't think I'm going to tag anyone in this one. And also, it was a ways back, and I think she tagged a lot of people, Melinda, so I won't tag anybody. But if this sounds fun and you haven't done it, please consider yourself tagged. And if you don't have a channel and you want to chime in on any of these questions, put them down in the comments. Have a great day, and I'll be back again soon.